Several major record labels are bringing a $2.6 billion lawsuit against Verizon. The company is accused of failing to stop users who repeatedly downloaded pirated content illegally. The case was filed in New York District Court last week by Universal, Sony, Warner, and others who say the illegal downloads violated their copyrights.
And we're joined now by Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes talking about this case. Now, I was reading here, it says that the labels say that they sent nearly 350,000 infringement notices to Verizon, and this was back in 2020. So why didn't they take this seriously?
Because I guess they couldn't hear them. They kept asking us, can you hear me now? But they can't hear them. So a couple things. In the lawsuit, they actually say that. They actually say, they've quoted as saying, they can hear me now, and it's been their pitch for years, but they've chose to ignore us for all this time, and that's why they're suing, asking $150,000 per violation, tens of thousands of violations. That's how we get to $2.6 billion. But this is not a new thing for the record labels. They've done this before in the past. Verizon just right now is in their crosshairs. They are the company that seems to be not listening to them, and they feel like, look, if you're not going to follow our request to take this down, to stop your users from doing things that you can see that they're doing, because we can see that they're doing it, then we'll have to allow the courts to force you to do it. Typically, if you want the courts to force someone to do something, you either get an injunction or you can get money damages. They're looking for money damages, and it seems like there is a good cause here.
So part of it talks about the downloading, the speed of that. Why is that such an issue here legally?
Well, it's not just the speed, it's the fact that they have access to doing it on their servers, on their network, and they can identify it and pinpoint it, and because it's happening in such a fast pace. The problem with that, because they are not actually doing it themselves, so typically if I'm suing someone, I have to have standing to sue them, right? So I have to have a claim. The record labels all have a claim because they own the music, and then I'm typically suing the person that's done something wrong to me. Like if I would sue the individual that downloaded, but they're going around the individuals because they don't have the money. So I'm going to go to the company that's allowing you to get access to it. And so that's vicariously getting that liability to the company. And so while the speed plays a part, is typically, if it was an old school like dial-up, it would be a slower download, but they're getting access to thousands of records, thousands of songs in a half a second. And that's costing them millions every day.
Okay, so this goes all the way from Sam Cooke to Wiz Khalifa. When you look at this in terms of the type of music, I mean, you got the Go-Go's, you have Elvis, you have so many people here. There was a list of 17,355 tracks. And when you broke that down in terms of how much they could now be liable of this lawsuit, that's how you said they got to the $2.6 billion. I mean, what happens to Verizon? How do you see this play out?
Well, I see it play out as, I think it's clear as day that they'll be found by a jury that this is not one that will settle. Like I normally say, this is one that I think goes to trial, and at trial they will be found that they will have to pay this money. But here's the curveball. Cox was just sued the same exact way by all the record labels, and they had a major settlement. And then what happened, they appealed it, and the judge tossed it and said the amount was too high, that it didn't connect, because even though they allowed it to happen, they gained no financial accountability from it. And because they didn't gain anything, the court said they had to toss it back and get a new trial. So what I ultimately think happens is Verizon will be found guilty in this situation or liable. They will appeal, the judge will toss it, and we'll be right back to here. And that's how it'll go. So will this have really any impact on the customer? It won't. Will it have an impact on Verizon? Momentarily it will. Their legal fees will go up, but ultimately they won't be paying a $100 billion settlement anytime soon.
Oh, wow.
All right, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, thanks.